Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Along the Spiritual Journey. So, spiritual sabotage is very, very real. I think people, when we get on this journey, we get excited and we want to share and we want to give. We want to tell people what we've learned and we try to explain it the best way we can. And people just look at you like, what is wrong with this person? What are they smoking? Because that's how it looks from the inside out. I've witnessed it when I've met other people who talk like me. And I'm like, is that what I sound like? Is that what I look like? And that taught me how to step back some. That taught me how to make myself realize that it's like, there's times where people don't realize they're accidentally spiritually sabotaging themselves by giving too much away. I am a firm believer in sharing your journey, but I don't share all of my deepest, darkest elements of my experience because it's mine. Me trying to articulate every part of my journey will just become this never ending task of me trying to be a perfectionist, which is part of my journey, and I have to turn that part off. For someone else's journey, that might be part of their journey where they need to turn up trying to perfect things a little bit more because they probably never cared and they let it fall to the wayside. So I can't tell them how to experience their journey. I can only tell you how I've experienced my journey. And what I've learned is there are going to be a ton of people who don't realize they're sabotaging their own soul journey because they're so focused on giving their avatar the human needs it think it wants based on, again, consumerism and culture and all these things that we glamorize and romanticize, like cars and big homes and all this. Again, we all need shelter. Yes, we all need transportation, we all need food. Those are the basis of being a human. But the extra part of it is when it comes into how you decide if it's a luxury or if it's just a general brand, a generic brand, right? That's your choice. To make that your identity and then sabotage your soul journey, to me, is where a lot of people are getting lost in translation because you can see good people and what we call distorted people. I don't like to say bad. I would say distorted people. They're both winning, right? From the outside looking in, you see people like, well, they got the cars, they got the home, they got the money, they got this. I was like, but that's all man-made. None of that is the spiritual journey. We already have said you're not taking any of that with you. So having all the riches in the physical man world, human world, means nothing in the spiritual world. So to go through this life sabotaging other people's existence, sabotaging your own existence, sabotaging timelines that were granted and gifted to you by the universe, but you were too blind to see it because you were focused on playing someone else's game versus creating your own. We all are interacting on some level with someone else's game. May it be the one they created or the one that they're carrying on the legacy, which is given to us by imprinting and conditioning of how we were raised. You hear it all the time. My mom did this. My grandpa used to do this, and I'm going to carry on this legacy. Okay, that's a choice, but that's the game they were playing on how they won. And if it works, use it. Everything in life is a template, but it is not your identity. And focusing too much on the template, which is this human shell, and not on your identity, which is the soul consciousness that tells you what you feel is good, right, or wrong based on where you feel are your passions, your desires, and hopes and dreams, which is connected to some past life experience that you were just glowing and flowing, and now you just want to come back and finish this life or just exist in this life. Because remember, some of us are here, the thing that I think a lot of people notice is some of us are here to just exist, to just do nothing. That is the characterization of the NPC. The NPC is not a bad terminology. I have learned to interpret it into a different terminology. I know it has its like hee ha moments, but for me, how I look at it is there are going to be people in the backdrop of your life that you never know, and they're just simply existing and being in their own self. And that's good because that becomes the backdrop of the romantic scene in a movie where then you're about to propose to your loved one, right? You don't want somebody in the background acting a fool. You want the NPCs in the background to act regular. So it's good to have people who are here to just exist. But there's some of us who are here to clean up past life trauma, who are here to clean up past life behaviors, Again, we have some of us, when the one thing I've noticed, especially when it comes to sexuality, there's a deviance connected to it because we feel like it's the shadow side of us where we come out of ourselves and we go from talking and being ourselves to, we know that feeling when everything starts going pitter patter down there. That is just an emotion to me. It's an emotion, it's an energy, it is a spirit that takes over, but at the same time, that is not who we are all the time. Our default is who we're walking around and communicating. In sexual energy, that's not us all the time. So for me, when I was younger, I was only, and again, not dissing anyone else, but I was only following a sexual path. I was only always looking to hook up. I was only always looking to be with someone to fulfill some need physically where I'm like, sexual positivity. I have that. But I didn't need to use and abuse my body to the point that I felt like I was just a tissue, right? No dissing to anyone because I know there's people out there who are proud to be tissues. But I'm not. And so for me, I had to say, Juan, Ja, whichever name I choose to go by that day, I am not happy being ran through a bunch of people. So how can we align these energies so that we don't sabotage our spiritual journey? And that meant for me, I had to go celibate for a while. I had to step out of the dating world. I had to step away from sex because I was not paying attention to why I was physically here on this earth, which was why I felt tortured. Some of us feel tortured on the inside and we don't know why. Some people don't feel that. And these are the ones where they're NPCs who just get to enjoy life and everything just seems simple because they did their work and they decided to come back and just hang out. Because remember, this is a checkpoint. This is not a place where we have to stay. It's a checkpoint. Some people choose to stay here and it becomes a hell because they don't do the work. So there are people who, they did the work, but some of us didn't do the work in the past life. So that means this avatar has to do the work now. Our parents didn't do the work. Our ancestors didn't do the work. It gets handed to the next generation. That's literally how it works. And if you choose to replicate what they created, you will live exactly the same life that they lived as a template and wonder why your life feels stuck or stagnant or not fulfilled because you're not creating your own avatar's journey along this pre-programmed simulation, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't care. I feel Sims is probably the most closest reality that's true. We get to choose the character and how it looks and what it does, but it is still a simulated world that pre-existed before us, and we have to learn how to interact in it. And based on how we interact is what we're going to get. And so for me, soul sabotage looks like not trusting what you do innately and just following it. Not going after real dreams. Dreams are practical. Remember, someone else's job that you're waking up to go do, that was their dream. These CEOs had a dream and they created it and then they put it out there and they put in the work and then they hired employees. And now you wake up every day to identify with this dream that they created. And if you want to be a part of it, that's fine. Just don't become it, right? There's a level of being a part of something without becoming it. That's what this avatar is supposed to do. We're supposed to exist as ourselves and be here and be a part of this world and experience this reality, but we're not supposed to let our hedonistic needs and wants of consumption overtake the spiritual journey that the avatar needs to complete, because once this body's dead, it's dead, and then you got to start over. That's how people don't look at it, is how I look at it. Once I'm gone, and my soul will go on, and whatever soul is talking to you right now is the soul that's going to remember what it needs to do, and it's going to come back, but there's going to be things it forgot, and it's going to have to start over. So I'd rather participate in the journey, still do what I want to do, still eat what I want to eat, still hang out how I want to in moderation. And then the soul can get its sleep, get its rest, do its creative work, and work through spirit and source the way it needs to, so that we all stay aligned. And that's what takes us to what we call transcendence and higher self, because now we're not fighting the journey, we're experiencing. And this is where you get to shift into the NPC mode of looking like everything is just so simple for them. Just do it, guys. I promise you it's the best thing ever. Love ya. Mwah.